I think very much Miami is not only the future of America, but really the future of global business. Miami still is the number one place in the world for Latin and diverse founders to raise capital, especially Latin founders, right? Average wage in Miami has almost doubled, and wages grow really, really slow. These business leaders that have moved here, there's the saying, I think investment banking, wealth management, follow the smart money.
That's right. Ken Griffin, Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Larry Page, Sergey Brin.
About 500,000 people and growing
get
off a cruise ship in Miami, downtown Miami, every month. Although Miami might be the hottest place in the world right now, the job's not done.
MJ Green, welcome.
Thank
Chief
you.
of Economic Development and Strategy at the Miami DDA. Great to have you. So much happening here in Miami. Let's talk a little bit about how you came to Miami. You moved down from Seattle. Where did you grow up?
Yeah, so I grew up all over. My dad used to work for, oddly enough, Ted Turner and later on Ross Perot. But my dad would go to new areas where he had bought cable TV networks, so WGN. My dad used to run WGN when we lived in Chicago. And then he moved to LA, and I forget the name of the TV station in LA. And so bounced around as a wild as a kid, Denver, Chicago, LA, St. Louis. My parents now live in St. Louis. But once I graduated college, I got a job working for Bank of America Merrill Lynch in Seattle. I went out there to work for a while, worked in wealth management for most of the time that I was in Seattle. Spent a short period at Microsoft, and then came down to Miami to run a CDFI. Found that super interesting to kind of start this kind of community development fund from the ground up and do loans to small businesses that I really thought deserve that extra capital.
And I think I've heard you say before, I also worked at Bank of America Merrill Lynch on the investment banking side. That finance experience, that investment experience helped shape kind of your view, and also you've had those skills and applied those skills in your role today.
Outside of my parents, I would argue the time that I spent working for the big banks and the Bank of Montreal was probably what really, I think, laid the groundwork for my career and really being able to understand and then really do some unique things. I built quite a few financial products that still work and help out communities that need it across the United States. And I think that without that time, a lot of them are built and set up like you would know, like trust. And so similar to how trust continues to spend your money after you've gone, all of these funds are continuing to do the good work that they were intended to do once I started them, and I no longer manage or run any of those anymore.
So you set up some good platforms, some good trust investments.
Payday loan refinance, developing affordable housing, and then the bulk of them are around small business loans to really small mom and pop businesses that have difficulty accessing capital otherwise.
And how did you get involved with the DDA? Were you seeking them out? Did they seek you out? Was it by chance you met someone and they recruited you in?
I think Christina and I have always known of each other and been friends, and so I was at the county and Christina reached out, and I thought it was a really interesting opportunity, and plus just the opportunity that Miami has as a whole. And when I say Miami, I do really mean Miami-Dade County as a whole. But then this area, I think, is just absolutely on fire, right? There are more cranes in Miami-Dade County than there are in the entire state of California. And about 60% of those cranes are within the DDA district. And so the development, the life, the excitement, I think that the beach is great and have nothing against the beach, but I think that you can see over the past 2-3 years, a lot of the attraction, a lot of where people are staying hotel-wise is on this side. This side, you not only get the fun and sun, which you, I think, get at the beach, you're 5 or 10 minutes away from it, but also some of the things that people do that actually live in Miami. It's a little bit closer connected to the true, real culture of Miami than I would argue maybe the beach is.
And let's talk about downtown. We have a downtown. The DDA covers a lot of territory. We're going to put up a map on the video here for them. What all neighborhoods does the DDA cover?
And so when I say downtown, I mean the overall downtown, which is Brickell. The downtown that most people call downtown, we call the Central Business District. So that's where the park starts. That's where the Intercontinental is. All of those different things. The Arts and Entertainment District is where the Heat Stadium, the PAM, the Frost Museum are, the Symphony. And then we have a little bit of Edgewater, kind of goes up like a finger a little bit towards the end. But really, as you would know, some of the most attractive, exciting, and expensive real estate in America, if not in the world, within that area. But also what the DDA, I think, has done a great job of, and this is before I was at the DDA, is not only making this business-friendly environment, but also more and more people and residents continue to live down here.
Right.
That was not even thought of 10 years ago. And if you even go before that, there was no one that lived here. And the DDA was the organization, the group that did the studies and pushed for that, pushed for some of the zoning, pushed for the residential buildings to get built. And now you see that, and we're looking at Brickell City Center, which is, I think, one of the greatest mixed-use developments in America, especially architecturally, and it's just absolutely beautiful. I think that's the prettiest mall in America, if you ask me.
Yep.
But all the different things that are in there, right? There's the East Hotel, there's Residence, there's WeWork, there's an absolutely amazing mall that spans 3 or 4
Apple
blocks.
Store,
The
yeah.
Apple Store.
Yep.
Like it's, anything that you want is kind of in those 4 blocks with people living in there and an amazing hotel, one of the greatest rooftops in all of the downtown area at Sugar. I mean, I think that that's really special. And you only can kind of, do some of those things in this area to be able to bring all of those pieces together.
Right. So many hubs within the downtown core, beyond CBD, you have Brickell and the other neighborhoods. I was at a DDA meeting recently, and you guys are working on a lot of important things and really the vision and planning for Miami's downtown over the next 25 years.
Yeah.
You guys have some big initiatives. Let's talk about those in the near term, in maybe 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, and beyond. What are some of the key priorities?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing that I'd like to say that I think that you realize is that, the job's not done.
Yeah.
Although the DDA district has grown by leaps and bounds, although Miami might be the hottest place in the world right now, the job's not done. There are still things that we need to do, that we should do, and I think that you should never take your foot off the gas.
Right.
So I wanted to say that first. Some of the things that we're working on, are continuing to focus on Flagler Street.
Yep.
If you go back to the, 50s, 60s, that was a major shopping hub, even maybe the 70s. And we want to bring that back, but with the flair of Miami. So many people travel here, so many people come here. And if you really think about it, there aren't really tangible things that you can leave with that say this is from Miami. There should be more brands that are Miami-based. Homegrown Miami brands. And we really want to try to push that for Flagler Street as it's opening up. The last little piece of Flagler Street hopefully will be open in the next couple of months. And so that's one thing. Connecting the Baywalk to the rest of the walkable area. So we've got the Underline, which is supposed to connect to the Underdeck, which is under the new highway that they're expanding.
Yep.
And then the Baywalk. So that will connect Edgewater to be able to walk around by the water to Maurice Ferré Park and then walk all the way around. I mean, I think that really helps bring communities together.
Is there a map of this?
There is a map of that, or some designs that I can share with you so you can kind of see that. So I'm really bad at this, but I want to say whatever the bridge is that you cross by the PAM, I think that's 395.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Under that, we want to be able to connect that so folks on the other side by Margaret Pace Park.
The MacArthur? Is that
the MacArthur?
The MacArthur, okay.
You could walk from Margaret Pace Park
underneath
that to Maurice Ferré Park.
Yeah.
And really that connects that community to this one. And folks can go all the way around. I think that we see the longevity trend, the health trends all spiking right now. Being outside, connecting with communities, being able to walk around is hugely important in that. And so we want to be able to help facilitate that as well.
And in your role, you're helping businesses. You guys are investing in the community. You have grants. You are attracting more small businesses and big businesses into downtown. What are some of those businesses and programs and grant programs that you guys?
Sure. So we have, I would say, the typical or the bucket that excites people mostly is our incentive program. We have 3 buckets, maybe 4. One, restaurants. The restaurant scene in Miami has completely exploded. And so, but we also know that because of some of the buildings, because of some of the legacy businesses and sensitivity with our environment, grease traps can be extremely expensive in getting those going. So it's a $75,000 grant for businesses to open up restaurants within the district. There is also a retail grant that's $50,000 for, I would say, traditional dry retail to come to the area. There's a mid-sized business grant, which is more traditional corporate office space in an office tower, and that's up to $50,000. It's a combination between square footage and the number of employees. But then there also is a startup grant. We want to continue to see growth in the startup community, and so we work We run a program that's a bit of an incubator with the city of Miami to help startups grow and accelerate their development. But then also, too, we will help fund some of the space for them to move into some of the co-working space without the district. We have some great co-working spaces throughout this entire district. And so being able to get them to grow and ideate their ideas here are hugely important. And then we support a host of different networking events, sporting events, just a little bit of everything to, one, bring people together. But I think that the incentive dollars and grants are always important and highlighted. But business relationships can be worth millions of dollars that supersede a $50,000 grant. And so trying to create both of those things simultaneously to help ensure those business success is where we and my department focuses a lot of our time.
Helping small businesses get off the ground, meet different people, co-working space.
Stay open, find the right relationships, try to market them to their audience. In the next, I'd say, month or so, we'll be helping some of the businesses that are, a little bit older, mom and pop, really do some really good social media marketing. So we've partnered with a great local media company that will really be going inside of their business, filming the content for them, making the content for them, giving it to them, posting it on their network. We'll post it on our Instagram, but then also give it to them because I think, nowadays when people travel, you're either searching TikTok or Instagram to figure out where you're going to go. And if you're not on there, you're a little bit behind. And so we want to support them in being able to do that as well.
Absolutely. Getting them exposure. These are all great initiatives. Where can people find more information about the grant program, how to apply, how to get involved?
Sure. I think the best way is our website, miamidda.com. The other one is our LinkedIn. We do post a lot of our stuff on our LinkedIn, and sometimes that can be a little bit easier to navigate than our website. Our website has a lot of reports and different things on there, but on the Instagram, on the LinkedIn, you'll be able to find all of that stuff pretty quickly on there as well.
Hey guys, my firm Prosper Group is a Miami-based real estate development firm focused on ultra luxury waterfront and prime properties here in South Florida. We source off-market real estate and we handle everything from acquisition, design, through construction and sales. If you are an accredited investor and you want to learn more about how we work and how to invest with us, go to prospergroup.com/invest and book a discovery call. Let's talk about some of the stats, the growth, the numbers, people moving in. We talked about the cruise ships, the terminals, all of these numbers, people investing here in downtown Miami. What numbers are you seeing? What trends are you seeing in terms of the growth and visitors and tourism and dollars spent and the economic impact?
Yeah, about 500,000 people and growing get off a cruise ship in Miami, downtown Miami, every month.
Wow. Every month?
Every month.
Yeah.
And that's a growing number.
Yeah.
Some of them spend their time on the beach or stay on the beach, but more and more every year are spending their time in some of the hotels that are on this side.
Right.
All of them looking for things to do. And so I think that from a retail perspective, the DDA district becomes extremely, extremely attractive. On our website, we have our Flagler retail report as well as demographic reports. And what it really shows is that you have this 300,000 people driving here every day for work.
Yeah.
Most of them coming from the South or wherever that might be in the rest of Miami-Dade County. And so you've got a pretty substantial lunchtime working crowd, highest level of education in Miami-Dade County.
That was a good stat, yeah.
And so you've got this high level of education. You've got workers making 6 figures plus, all in this area Monday through Friday. Thursday to Sunday, you've got 500,000 people that have got off cruise ships, and you see it on the cruise numbers. People were staying a half a day. Now, because it's Miami and people enjoy Miami so much, people staying a day and a half. So maybe about 2 days before or after their trip. So a Thursday to, let's say, Tuesday maybe, you've got 500,000 people here on the cruise ships. You've got all these new residents that have moved here. We've got about 160,000 some odd folks that now live in the DDA district full time. And so that supports nightlife, supports the restaurants. But then we also have one of the most diverse colleges in America and the largest college in America, which is Miami-Dade College.
Right.
And those student populations. I would love to kind of really do some comparisons on another area in America that has, 30,000 plus students.
Yeah.
500,000 people that are just on cruise ships. I'm not even talking about the business people flying down here or just other regular general
tourism. Yeah.
Just cruise ship tourism, 500,000. Almost 200,000 folks that are residents, and then 300,000 people that are coming here Monday through Friday for work. And there's a kind of a Venn diagram chart in one of our reports that kind of really shows that. And if I'm thinking about that from a developer perspective, from a retail perspective, that's really, really attractive. To be able to say, okay, a third of my audience can be a working group that comes here. A third of my audience can really be tourists looking to spend money. And then another third of my audience can be folks that live in the general area. You're not, the diversification happens instantly, right? You're not beholden to just one group.
Historically, and I think what MJ's saying, and we look at in the stats and the data, is that Miami historically, pre-COVID, pre-2020, was very tourism driven, very hospitality, very seasonal. And those peaks and valleys throughout the year and different years, there was more volatility in predicting revenue and predicting businesses and travelers. And now today, there's more people living downtown, highly educated people living downtown, moving here. And it's strengthened reduced the peaks and troughs of the predictability.
And that's kind of what I mean by the job's not done yet. That was from an economic standpoint, that's a great move. And that's exactly what you want to have happen. But we aren't done yet. We need to complete the mission and continue to get more jobs down here. And then I think then you have this, what everybody kind of really talks about, and I guess the new term is this Gold Coast type of economy, right?
Yeah.
Which I like that.
Yeah.
But I think that we've got to continue to not take our eyes off any of the balls that we have up in the air, but continue to strengthen them. Mm-hmm. I think that there are multiple conferences and events that still want to come to Miami and can't be here. I think that...
Why can't they be here?
Well, they can. I think that one, it's the right introductions and bringing them here. I think two, you will see the James L. Knight Center come down, but at the Gale, they've built some conference space.
Yeah.
We have all these great hotels, but for one big, massive conference, there might not be the right space downtown right now at the moment.
Right.
I think the Gale can take some of that. And then I just came back from South by Southwest, which was great. Yeah. And they knocked down their convention center to build a bigger, newer, nicer one. But they had South by Southwest, which is, I don't even know, crazy amount of people, probably in the hundreds of thousands. Yeah. Spread throughout all of the hotels and spaces downtown Austin, which I actually thought was really pretty cool and got to see a different part of instead of just being locked in a convention center. Yeah. I kind of actually really enjoyed that. But it was my first time, so I have nothing to compare it to. But I think that finding more space, finding the right connections and relationships, but we have all these new hotels also going up. I do love these mixed-use developments that have the condo and the hotel. And so I think it's about our job at the DDA, the GMCVB, some of my other economic development partners, having these right conversations with some of these conferences to let them know about the space and then helping, grease the wheels and make the right connections for that to be able to happen here.
I'm reading a lot about tech in Miami. Is it for real? We just saw some big names, some big CEOs of Google, Facebook, Palantir, buying homes here, moving here. The DDA has supported programs at the AI program at Miami-Dade College. What are you seeing in terms of tech? How can we really attract these tech workers and make sure it's not just a headline that the CEO is moving and they're bringing their employees and opening offices down here?
I think, from a media perspective, we do need to be really clear what's happened. I think Peter Thiel has moved here. I don't know if all of Palantir has moved here. We hope that they do. Yeah. And continue to try to have those conversations to help facilitate that in any way that we possibly can. I think the other thing is that Miami is Miami. There's no reason for us to try to be anything else. And as parents tell their children, be yourself and people will love you for that. I think we need to be ourselves. And so that means not necessarily trying to be San Francisco. And San Francisco wasn't built overnight. Right. We're not going to become a tech hub tomorrow. Right. I think we need to continue to invest in the schools and education. We need to continue to work to bring tech talent here. But I think, one of the great inspiring things that happened even just this last weekend is, one of the co-founders of Google showed up at a hackathon. Yeah. That was here. That's the types of moves that we need to be making. That's the type of excitement. And then Miami still is the #1 place in the world for Latin and diverse founders to raise capital, especially Latin founders, right? And so that's a feather in our cap. I think that there's some additional education. There is continuing to be a lot of wealth that comes here. Some of that wealth is made in tech. More now, you're starting to see that. But a lot of the wealth in Miami was built in real estate development, different things like that. That's a different type of investment. Having some conversations with those individuals on diversifying their portfolios to not just be so retail reliant, I think is an interesting conversation. But I think that we are trending in the right direction.
Yeah.
I think that we have the right leadership and the right people. I think the stars are bright. But again, that job isn't done yet and won't be done for another, really, I would argue 5, 10 years. It takes time.
Yeah.
Silicon Valley didn't become Silicon Valley overnight. I came from Seattle. Seattle didn't become a tech place for years. I mean, really, it was just Microsoft for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And Boeing, if you want to consider that a technology company, I would. But it takes time. And so I think continuing to invest in that, I think that we will see it happen. I think the future is bright. When I first moved to Miami, there were a lot of talks, and this is 8 years ago, about brain drain. People left, and then they went somewhere else.
Yeah.
The average wage in Miami has almost doubled, and wages grow
Yeah.
really, really slow.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's a good sign. I think, but though we do need to continue to move that forward. We are as expensive as a New York or California, and our wages need to show that, right? And so we need to pay people the money so that they want to stay here, they do stay here. But the brain drain isn't as much as a conversation as it was 8 years ago. And so I think that Miami will grow and be a tech hub of sorts, but I would maybe take the tech hub off of it. Tech is involved in everything.
Yeah.
Every company is a tech-enabled company. I think that Miami grows as just a business hub.
Yeah.
Logistics, longevity, health science. I think all of those things continue to grow here. The future of the legal field, the future of development is here, mixed in with the future of AI and the rest of technology. I think that all of those things continue to grow here, and this continues, which I mean, the leaps and bounds that Miami has made as a business hub in the last couple of years are massive.
Absolutely, and I think outside of Miami, outside of our circles, because we're in an echo chamber, and you know we drank the Kool-Aid.
We're drinking the Kool-Aid.
We're drinking the Kool-Aid. When I first started doing business here in 2018 and 2019, and someone would do something that was maybe unprofessional or unorthodox, people used to say, and they would give an excuse of, well, it's Miami. Miami is the Wild West. Anything goes. And I don't hear that. You don't hear that anymore. And you're right. It's become more professional, more diversified businesses, companies, types of professionals have moved here, driving up and increasing wages and everything. So for those of you from the outside, it's a lot more professional. There's a lot more companies, and why so many people from New York, California have moved down.
Yeah, I think that's a misnomer. You hear that a lot, and then Miami isn't professional. Sunny place for shady people is thrown around.
Yeah.
But all of that, I think, is changing. And I think that these business leaders that have moved here, there's the saying in, I think, investment banking, wealth management, follow the smart money.
Yeah, that's right. Ken Griffin, Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Larry Page, Sergey Brin, Howard Schultz, founder of coffee, or Starbucks.
The list is long, and I think if you follow that, I think that shows you the change in the trend and the trajectory. And I think that it should also be okay for people to be an amazing businessman, businesswoman, but also fully enjoy their life.
Yeah.
And I think that Miami brings an awesome opportunity to have a great quality of life and have a great business at the same time. I don't have to be stuck in a dungeon working 24/7, 365 and have no fun to be successful. I think sometimes to be successful, and I had made a LinkedIn post about, my Monday and Friday might be successful because I had a great weekend.
Yeah.
I spent time with my friends.
Yep.
I talked to my family.
Yep.
I went to the beach.
Yep.
I worked out. I did all these things that pour back into you so that on Monday through Friday, I can be the best that I can be. And I would argue that most people in America living somewhere else, apples, I'm probably having a better weekend than you are, right? And I think that's because we live
Seattle,
in Miami.
what did your weekends look like?
maybe I played some basketball, got a
Yeah.
haircut, and
Yeah,
ate
it's
some food.
raining,
Yeah.
it's cold. Yeah, yeah, much better, much sunnier here. So these growing cities, we've seen it other parts of the country. It's great that we have investment, we have more people, we have population growth, we have building, mobility, traffic. DDA recently launched Freebie.
Yep.
Freebie, a program that's been in the works for some time. Let's
updated it.
talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Freebie it was an electric golf cart.
Okay.
That would drive people around in a circulator type of field downtown. You could catch you in one spot and it would take you around and you could hop off. And it's basically like, free trolley or tram. Through talking to the community, listening to the community, we've expanded it. So anywhere in the DDA district, you can download the Freebie app, and a brand new electric Volkswagen
Van.
Yeah, I was going to say SUV, but a van
Yeah.
will pick you up and take you where you want. That's how I got here today.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
called the Freebie.
Really?
Took me over here. And I think that that's our movement or our step
Yeah.
in trying to support the mobility. I think that, the Miami Downtown Development Authority is a big name, but we can't do everything.
Right.
Our goal is to work with all of our partners, and mobility does need to be increased, but that is where we have put our money where our mouth is in fully funding the Freebie.
Yeah.
And so that's if you want to go get groceries from Whole Foods, and let's say you live on one of the other buildings somewhere else in the area, it's hot in Miami, walking, all the different reasons or whatever, you're able to take that and be able to get that around. And, I think mixed with Metro Mover, this area does have all of the mass transit that Miami-Dade County has to offer in one area. Metro Mover, Tri-Rail, Brightline, and now the Freebie, and now the even cooler, nicer air-conditioned Freebie. There wasn't air conditioning in the
that's good for the
country
summers.
before. So it's good for the summers. We see a lot of the tourists use it, but we hope, I'm glad that you asked me about that more of the folks that live, work down here will also take that. I mean, even coming from meetings, sometimes, unfortunately, you and I are in suit jackets. Being
Right.
able to get from one meeting on one side of Brickell to something that's in the Arts and Entertainment District can be a little bit difficult. And the parking situation and all of that, it's a lot easier to take a Freebie and they drop you off right in the front door.
Where do people, where can they book a Freebie?
Download the app.
Okay.
Freebie, you'll see it right on there. You download the app. It's free to set up, takes maybe 2-3 minutes, and then you can call one. That's how I will get back to the office from here today.
For our viewers and for those people from outside the U.S. that are thinking about investing here in Florida, investing in Miami, what are some of the attractions and the pitch for, and they've heard it, we know, but from your seat, you talk to a lot of decision makers, a lot of people that are interested. You guys are one of the first calls at the DDA. Where should they be looking, investing their capital? What's a pitch coming here versus a place like Seattle or a place like LA, maybe Nashville, Tennessee, Austin, Texas?
Yeah, I think we all know about the taxes, so I won't talk about that. Texas is, I think, similar tax climate, but I think it's the opportunity of the moment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk about timing, maybe is what I'll say. I think that Miami is experiencing a peak growth moment for a major American city, and I think that is extremely exciting. And to be able, not only a major American city, but really this global business hub and being able to bring your business here, I think very much Miami is not only the future of America, but really the future of, I think, global business. It's extremely diverse.
Yep.
The connectivity points, right? We talked about the port from a cruise standpoint, but from a cargo standpoint, I want to say that we are number 2 or 3 cargo port in the United States.
Yeah.
Definitely number 1 cargo airport.
Yeah.
And so from a logistics standpoint, the things that are coming here and going to the rest of America, 90-something% of the green beans in America come from Miami-Dade County.
Wow.
If you order a succulent off of Amazon and you get it in 2 days, it's a 99% chance it came from Miami-Dade County. And so from a logistics standpoint, I think that there's massive opportunities from that. And then the timing, I think that the capital continues to circle around Miami-Dade County.
Yeah.
Capital, meaning a great idea,
Yep.
is what I think is called a business opportunity. And so I think that, for the builders, the dreamers, and the people that are really interested in the future of business, there isn't a more attractive place to be than the city of Miami and Miami-Dade County because of all those things going on at one time. And then also, too, I think, following the smart money, all of the sports continue to come here. I think there's a reason. One, it's easy to get people to travel here for those events. But sports are, I think, another relationship building tool, but also a business tool as well.
Yeah.
Being able to host
It's big business. Sports is big business. DDA just had a sports event talking about, we have a World Cup event. We have, we had the Orange Bowl here. We have F1. We have so many sports events.
E1,
Yeah.
UFC, the Heat, the Dolphins, Miami Open right now.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the people I was at Miami Open yesterday that I was able to meet, relationships, we all know how important those are.
Yeah.
The opportunity that Miami brings you with Art Basel, all of those different things to cultivate meaningful relationships from people all around the world to grow your business network, I think is hugely important and something that we maybe don't emphasize on enough. I think that is something that also really makes and made New York special, is that you are able to meet people from around the world,
Right.
that are successful, that are doing things that you could be interested in. And I think that Miami now has a lot of that excitement. And so I think it's the timing that I think is really special about being here right now.
Awesome. MJ, and what are two initiatives that you're really focused on this year for the rest of the year that you're looking to get done? I know you guys are working on so much, and like you said, it's not, you can't do everything.
Sure.
High impact, your specific focus. What's exciting you right now?
I mean, the thing that's coming up right now is the World Cup, right? I think we want this to be the greatest experience for the people that live here. We want this to be the best experience for the tourists that will continue to travel here. But we also really want this to be a great experience for the small businesses, right? We're expecting somewhere between 300,000 to 1 million people to show up in Miami for those games. I think the addition of the freebie for folks to be able to get around that are here, continuing to keep the streets safe and clean, and the investments that we make there is something that we'll be focused on. But then really just giving businesses the opportunity. I hope and, knock on wood, we'll be able to support some pop-up programs to be able to get some of maybe the businesses that are in a homestead that aren't going to see the foot traffic of all those folks to be right downtown in the heart of Miami. And so we're working on trying to put that together. I think that will be really exciting. We're super excited about the opening of Flagler Street and kind of downtown. Once Flagler Street, I think, opens, that's a real catalytic moment for kind of that core central business district to start to kind of really turn around. I mean, the history on Flagler Street, Miami's first main street, mixing that with the street opening.
Yeah, let's talk about Flagler Street.
Yeah.
So Flagler Street has a history. Henry Flagler, he was very important here in
Visionary
in
in Miami, got
Visionary.
people to come down here, built the railroad, kind of almost basically, between him and Julia Tuttle, made Miami a thing.
Right.
You mix in the, 60 some odd Black Bahamian men that helped sign the charter to make Miami, the city of Miami, an actual city. There's an immense amount of history in people and visionaries, and I would say real business leaders helping to start this city. And that street goes basically from, the water to the Everglades, right? Miami's first main street, a lot of history there, a lot of shopping, and just excitement. And we really want to help to bring that back. It's been under construction for some time now, but 3, I think, of the 4 sections are open now, and that 4th section hopefully will open here pretty soon.
Incredible. There's so much exciting action happening in downtown Miami. We're excited to be a part of it. We're honored to have you on the show. MJ, where can people find you? What's the best way to connect with you and the DDA?
Sure. So my email, the DDA, is super simple. It's green@miamidda.com. My LinkedIn, my MJ is short for Michael John, all one word, MICHAELJOHN, Green. I post a lot of stuff on there. A lot of our events are posted on there. I think staying on the DDA website, the newsletter is great. And there's just, we appreciate you being here and being able to see the vision and continuing to add to this amazing skyline. The excitement around the Miami River and, 2-3 years from here now, when all those developments are up, there's additional people and excitement in the area. I think that COVID was the start of the excitement and getting people down here and starting to see. But I really think that we kind of almost are on day one all over again.
A new phase.
For a new phase, a new exciting vision that includes hopefully all the pieces.
Yeah.
The entertainment, the lifestyle, the business, and just the community.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really excited about some of the things that we do from an arts and culture perspective at the DDA and really bringing communities together. Our vintage market and farmers market that happens on Flagler every Sunday, we're getting more and more people to come out. And I think that that's what then really starts to make some of these things special. Business is fun, but it's not as fun if you don't have any friends or you don't know anyone, right? Being able to connect those communities, bring people together.
Bringing
the
the
people.
people together. Yeah.
The people is what made Miami special before you and I were both here.
Yep.
The people were what made Miami special after you and I are gone, right?
Yep.
And so I think continuing to focus on that, continue to listen to that. The DDA is now kind of really doubled down on the residential piece and making sure that their voices are heard and adding 3 new residents to the board. And so we want to continue to focus on community. We want to continue to focus on business. We appreciate all of the great business leaders like yourself. I think getting the information out here, we appreciate the opportunity to be on the long game. And I am super long on Miami.
Yeah.
And I think that everyone should be. And we welcome everyone to come enjoy the greatest place in the world to live, work, and play.
Absolutely. MJ, this is great. Thanks for coming on.
You're the man. Thank you, man.